Assalamu alaikum. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Rabbana la tu'akhizna in nasina aw akhtana. Rabbana wa la tahmil alayna isran kama hamaltahu ala alladhina min qablina. Rabbana wa la tuhammilna ma la taqata lana bih. Wa'fu anna waghfir lana warhamna anta maulana fansurna ala al-qawmil kafirin. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli waj'al li wazira min ahli Haruna akhi ushdud bihi azri washriku fi amri kay nusabbihaka kaseera wa nazkuraka kaseera innaka kunta bina basira. Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. Wala hawla wala quwwata illa billahil aliyyil azim. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Welcome everyone. Inshallah, we will continue with the 20th word section. We studied the 19th word last time about the messengership of the Prophet. So we will start the 20th word today. We did read the first paragraph, so we will start over from there. So the 20th word, this word consists of two stations. Now the first station, in the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And when we told the angels, prostrate before Adam, they prostrated except Iblis. This is from the Quran, section 2, verse 34. Another example, God commands that you sacrifice a cow, which is from the Quran, section 2, verse 67. And yet, after all this, your hearts hardened and became like rocks, or even harder, which is from the Quran, section 2, verse 74. One day, while reading these verses, 3 points were imparted to me from the effulgence of the Quran against the promptings of Satan. His suggestions took this form. He said, you say the Quran is a miracle and of infinite eloquence, and that it is guidance for everyone at all times. So what is the meaning in its persistently repeating in historical form certain minor events like the following? How is it appropriate to mention an insignificant event like the slaughtering of a cow as though it were something significant? And even naming that important surah as the cow. Also, the event of prostrating before Adam. It occurred in the realm of the unseen. See, if we look at it from a historical perspective, it may seem that way. It occurred in the realm of the unseen and cannot be understood rationally. This is a problem, cannot be understood rationally. It may be submitted to and accepted with certainty only after a strong belief has been attained. Whereas the Quran instructs those who use their reasons, in many places it says, "So will you not think," and refers what it says to the reason. Okay, this is a valid point. Also, how is it guidance to show certain natural conditions of rocks to be important, which are the results of common things that we see or chance happen to be there? Simple matter, rocks. So when we look at these verses, for example, and when we told the angels prostrate before Adam, they prostrated except Iblis. Of course, if we look at it from a historical perspective, something that happened in the unseen, we just pass by without really thinking about it much, what it means, because that's what I've heard many places like this that, okay, I've read this and okay, how does it, unless we are attending these classes that we are looking at the verses, how we're studying them to make them relevant to our lives in our living. Also, God commands that you sacrifice a cow. Okay, if it's a historical event at that point, at that moment, in that era, time period, there was a cow that had to be sacrificed or was asked. And yet, after all this, your hearts hardened and became like rocks. Of course, something maybe external. My heart is not hard, you know. So these are all the way the Quran speaks, and of course, as we've been studying many times, how Quran cannot be read literally. That's one point. We have to see just like any other literature piece that we study, it has to be interpreted in its context of what the purpose of guidance is. It has to help me in my life. What am I to do with information or historical aspects of the events? And of course, it sounds very interesting how the phrasing of the Satan's introduction on how he comes, the ideas that he throws, that yes, Quran is like a miracle, infinite eloquence, makes sense, guidance for everyone at all times. But then he introduces, or the idea gets into the historical repeating in historical form certain minor events. And slaughtering a cow, of course, if it's a historical something insignificant, but making it, why are we being told about sacrificing a cow? Assuming it occurred in the realm of the unseen, so something I never witnessed, I don't know. So what does it mean really? So let's see how the author approaches this in terms of these specific particular examples and the points that he makes. So the points with which I was inspired took this form. First point, in the all-wise Quran are numerous minor events behind which are concealed universal principles. So minor events, but behind which are concealed universal principles, and which are shown as the tips of general laws. For example, he taught Adam the names, all of them, which is from the Quran section 2, verse 31. So this example, he taught Adam the names, all of them, all of the names. This is the teaching of the names. Before I continue this paragraph, so Brother Ali, your hand is up, so please go ahead.
Yeah, we have to go back. Yeah, that is why before going into the example, I just wanted to share something came to my mind so that you will say whether it is good, useful, or right or wrong. Now, two points came to my mind. One of them is all the narrations in the Quran which happened in the past. Not only that we don't know, we don't really experience that, but we have to understand in such a way that although we don't know the event, there is no historical trace either, and it cannot be the purpose of the speech of the Creator. The purpose of the speech of the Creator is not really to tell me what happened in the past. That is not expected of my Creator, even not apart from the historians. No one is interested in them. It is just past. Forget about them. Anyways, but the point is, which includes the second point I wanted to make here. How can I confirm all this really happened? And what is taught in the universal speech of the Creator, which claims to be coming from the infinite knowledge? It means the Creator's knowledge. When you look at the universe, it seems to be that his creation, his knowledge is infinite. Every single thing is knowingly, purposefully are created. So we have to understand this very interesting word here. Can you go a bit up? No. Down. Yep. Also, the last sentence of the long paragraph, also, no. How is it guidance to show certain natural conditions of the rock to be important, which are the results of chance? Because it seems to be. Now, the first point says, in the all-wise Quran are numerous minor events behind which are concealed, look, universal principles. What attracts my attention? It doesn't say, you can take lesson from it. So you don't have to go back and investigate what happened in the past, but there is a lesson in the stories, the storytelling, and this moral stories, ethical stories, telling something to the children and human beings, maybe grown-ups as well, then you can take lesson from it. So the historical events teach us so that we will take lesson. We won't repeat the history, what happened, make the same mistake. No, it says there are many events behind which are concealed universal principles, so which are shown us the tips of general laws. I said, wow, how interesting that this person, this author, doesn't say they are there for us to take lessons, but universal principles, general laws. That is what we are going to pay attention, inshallah, while we are studying the examples. This is very important, not to reduce the stories only to take lesson from them, but find out the general laws and universal principles and practice it in your life, because the universal principles directly connected to your being. You can have the same situation as the verse is going to be studied. He taught Adam the names on all of them. It means, oh, I am the Adam. Put yourself in the place of Adam. So my name is Ali. I would read this verse. He taught Ali the names, all of them. Oh, me, yeah, you. Did you listen to it? Really? Is it? It's something is taught in me. All the names, of course, the word names in the Quran is used what? Manifested qualities of the creator or manifested qualities of the artist of this work of art, which is the universe. I am also a part of the work of art. The artist's qualities. Sania is the don't say artist. Oh, you said about God artist. No, it means Sania. Sana, art. Sani, the artist. So don't feel because you didn't hear this translation of the name mentioned in the Quran. Of course, the translations are names, but qualities of the artist manifested in my being as a piece of art. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Lisu. As we saw that he taught Adam the names, all of them. It's the minor event, and then when you take it as Brother, he gave the example, he taught Ali the names, all of them, or anybody can put their name, ask him all the names of them. So it goes from the minor principle to a universal principle, and it starts opening up. So let's see how that happens, inshallah. So this is the teaching of the qualities, attributes, which was a miracle of Adam before the angels, because of his ability to be vicegerent of the earth, and was a minor event. But it forms the tip of a universal principle, which is as follows. It was the teaching due to man's comprehensive disposition of countless sciences and numerous all-embracing branches of knowledge about the universe, and extensive learning about the Creator's attributes and qualities, which afforded man superiority over not only the angels, but also the heavens and earth and mountains in the question of the bearing of the supreme trust. And like the Quran states that through his comprehensive disposition, through man's comprehensive disposition, man is a spiritual vicegerent of the earth. Man is a spiritual vicegerent of the earth. So the minor event in the unseen of the angels prostrating before Adam and Satan not prostrating is the tip of a broad and universal observed principle. These hint at an extensive truth, which is as follows. So I'll read it and then we can come back to these two paragraphs. By mentioning the angel's obedience and submission before the person of Adam. By mentioning the angel's obedience and submission before the person of Adam, and Satan's pride and refusal. The Quran makes understood that most of the physical beings in the universe and their non-physical representatives and appointed beings are subjugated to man, and that man's senses are predisposed and amenable to benefiting from all of them. And pointing out what a fearsome enemy and serious obstacle in the path of man's progress are evil matter. What a fearsome enemy and serious obstacle in the path of man's progress are evil matter and its representatives and evil indwelling spirits, which corrupt man's nature and drive him down wrong paths. The Quran of miraculous exposition, whilst speaking of a minor matter with Adam, peace be upon him, converses in elevated fashion with the whole universe and all mankind. So this is one example of how the author presents this particular verse from being a minor historical event to something that becomes relevant to us as a universal principle that just like Adam mentions man, human being, is endowed with all the qualities to observe and to conclude, to reason, to feel, to think. That's why he says a spiritual vicegerent of the earth. So not just like a physical, powerful leader, but one endowed with the tools and the qualities that makes him a human being. And man is able, with all the progress in the sciences and all different areas of knowledge branches that we are observing these days, continuing as the progress is being made. It shows that there is knowledge that is being uncovered at all, every day, every moment, every time. And human beings are capable of that. So the extensive learning about the Creator's attributes and qualities is an ongoing process and endeavor. Although we may not see that whatever we are learning, whatever we are discovering, finding, using are all pointing to the Creator's attributes and qualities. For example, this laptop I may be using, I may not see that it's actually pointing and learning about the Creator's attributes and qualities. So anything in the universe, as we study it, we go into it, is nothing but the learning of the Creator's attributes and qualities. So that is what this countless sciences that are taught, all the knowledge about the universe, referring to the universe, is nothing but the Creator's attributes and qualities that describe what kind of a creator he is. And since man is capable of doing that, that's why man's superiority over not only the angels, but also the heavens and earth and mountains in the question of the bearing of the supreme trust. So the supreme trust being this ability to comprehensively understand the reality, what all these things that we interact with, that they are attributes and qualities that point to the owner of this world, the Lord of the universe. So man is capable of understanding, comprehending, being comfortable, by confirming whatever we are studying are nothing but the qualities of the Lord of the universe. Any comment by anyone on additions? Any other points you would like to highlight? So that was the first paragraph here on this page. But please feel free to share your feelings, your thoughts. And the second one, by mentioning the angel's obedience and submission, and Satan's pride and refusal, talks about the human choices, the options, the free will that human being has. So most of the things that we are using, benefiting from, and of course the qualities that the non-physical representatives, because we benefit from, for example, the laptop or the handheld devices or the plants, animals, everything that we may interact with, most of them are all under the subjugation, or man can work with them and benefit from them. The air, rain, rivers, trees, everything. And the man's senses are predisposed and amenable to benefiting from all of them, and pointing out a fearsome enemy. And of course, this is what we have to be careful of. Although we have the free will, we have the choice to submit our being to the one who creates us. And then there's the other option of corrupting the human self. So Brother Ali, please go ahead.
You touched upon the main message. I want to make it a bit specific and importance. Because of the importance of the subject, I have to just stress on the important side of it. First of all, the human beings are not given the ability to exploit the universe as much as they want, and in order to corrupt it. But the purpose is to be able to investigate the creation so that the human beings are going to understand who this creation belongs to. So they will understand, if they really realize that the universe belongs to someone, they will understand as a part of as being the part of the universe, they will say, oh, I have my owner as well, the same owner, because he created me within the context of the whole universe. These are understandable, and in order to investigate the universe, I have to have the tools. These tools, if I don't have the tools, how can I benefit from the universe? For example, if I am not given the sense of hunger, sense of taste, a sense of smell, how can I appreciate, or sense of beauty, how can I appreciate the value of the created beings which are now, with the tools, I'm using the tools to measure them. This is more beautiful than this. This is ugly, really. I don't like it. This smells horrible. This smells really nice, attractive. Oh, the delicious food is smelling, etc. So that through hunger, through these senses, we can really investigate into the creation and understand that while we are investigating, it doesn't mean that I will choose the best food and forget about it and satisfy your stomach, but your intelligence, your consciousness will continue questioning how come they exist. Can they exist by themselves? This questioning process continues. Of course, the universe is witnessing the qualities of its source of existence. Whoever or whatever has created him, gave him existence, has given him giving the universe existence in the way that I am experiencing here, must manifest its qualities in it so that I can benefit from it. But at the same time, this creator must give me the ability to utilize them. For example, if there was no quality in me, I wouldn't really realize something's existing there. So the qualities are given. It comes now angels' obedience, prostration. We know that angels are representing the meaning of the creation, meaningful side of the creation. So what makes the book useful? The knowledge manifested in it, not the paper. So we can easily understand and comprehend that the universe must be created in such a way that I can communicate with. Like book, it must be written in such a way that I can communicate with it. I cannot communicate with the paper as a book. It is just a piece of paper. I can communicate as a paper, not as a book. But we see that what makes the paper useful for me, the knowledge manifested in it. Although I don't know the source of the knowledge, but I know that the knowledge must have a conscious source which has the quality of knowledge to manifest in the book. The universe is the same. I cannot communicate with matter alone if there was no meaning in it. So this meaningful side of the creation which enables me to communicate with is angel. This is very important. I keep repeating this. If you are bored with it, please excuse me. So important, because I'm fed up with this understanding of angel something flowing in the air and we don't see, but they are in the sky living there. This kind of story, like, epic, like in an epic. You understand what I mean? Something just told like this. I don't know. How can I be sure about it? I have no evidence for it. That is why this cultural understanding of angel among the population, Muslim population, or non-Muslim populations, the Christians and Jews, is ridiculous to understand, and we cannot really confirm it at all. There is no evidence. But if you see that the angels are announcing, declaring the qualities of the Creator, it means exalting in the language of the Quran, names of as the book says, qualities of the Creator. It means making them known to me. That is how they are serving me. I'm benefiting from them. The angels, in their nature, the way they are created, obedient and submissive before me, human being. They are serving me. Like the knowledge inscribed in the book is serving me to learn, to transfer the knowledge in the minds of the author to me. That is what we have to make sure that really the universe is at least like a book, if not like a living speech, continuously renewed book is speech, continuously made speech. And this means of communication, introducing me to my source of existence, is angel. That's what Quran says. They do nothing but only what I reflect in, bring to you, transfer to you. Of course, if we reduce the angel sitting on right and left shoulders everywhere, I mean, including that, but that one sitting on them, ridiculous. But in the creation of the shoulder and the arm and my, I don't know, air molecules, they are all written books, knowledge inscribed in them. They serve us. How about Satan's disobedient? I always make a little bit, sarcastic language. In fact, the sarcastic way of, ridiculing the cultural understanding of religion. I say, instead of having an argumentative creature before you, or God, why do you create? Why have you created it then? To argue with you? Just make it disappear from existence. If you don't create them, if you don't create Satan or Iblis, devil, it wouldn't exist. Which kind of God are you? Are you creating an enemy of me in the world? What are you doing? I mean, even I wouldn't do it. It is a sarcastic way of really ridiculing the cultural understanding of religion, and also some, unfortunately, classical texts, some of them.
Should we do it though?
Sorry?
Should we really do it? Should we really ridicule the cultural understanding of the religion?
In some cases, if they are ridiculous, yes. So that people will wake up and, oh yeah, really, it doesn't make sense. But most of this kind of interpretations are borrowed from, how do you say it, Israeliyat, how do you say, the stories of the children of Israel, or Jewish rabbis, let's say, old Jewish rabbis.
I mean, I think I understand, and I agree with you that, like, when it comes to understanding the speech of God, we should always keep in mind that, like, it's a figurative speech, and you need to really try to see what it really relates to, or what it really refers to in your own your own context. And if you take it literal, then it is inevitable that it's going to be some fairy tale, which is not going to mean much, or it's not going to make sense much. But at the same time, I am not sure if ridiculing the alternative ideas actually helps to wake up the people. I think it is rather actually creating an emotion that actually, because without convincing the people first, ridiculing the idea and kind of attacking to their own very existence in a way, because that's how they are taking it. So that doesn't serve the purpose. Actually, it creates a barrier for the communication, and actually it turns the people off. Just my 2 cents, and let's just put it in it, it's my self-criticism, let me say.
I respect that. I welcome that. Yeah. It seems to be, which, of course, from the perspective you look at it, there is no need to cause tension. But at the same time, if you really go through the classical tafsir, it is unbearable, my friend. Doesn't make sense at all. And it has not been only for a century or not. It is 1,000 years. No one dared to question that because of their knowledge is so authoritative about Arabic grammar, etc. But at the same time, historians got involved in tafsir, writing tafsir, like Tabari, Ibn Kathir, etc. And they became authority. And in the minds of the people, it remained for at least 1,000 years, if not more. All these verses, if you really go through, they say these are too ridiculous, really ridiculous. These are the names of the things, like the chair, the pen, and the book, and I don't know, telephone, the bed, or I don't know, table. These names. And one of them said, not number one, but one trend of said, the names of all other human beings, you know? Adam learned from God your name as Ali, or I don't know, your name is iPhone, I think. Yeah. iPhone. I'm joking. iPhone. This is what they say. Still, some of them are saying, under the influence of the authority of Arabic knowledge. But into understanding the message of the knowledge, yes, Arabic is the necessary tool. But it doesn't mean that it authorizes you to interpret it like the materialist scientists. You know, they know how the universe is working by itself. Of course, it doesn't authorize them to interpret it that the universe works by itself, improves itself by itself. Like knowing Arabic doesn't really qualify you to understand the message of the Quran. Knowing how the universe is working doesn't qualify you to make speculative interpretations of the universe. When I say it is ridiculous, those scientists who interpret the universe as it is happening by itself, and no one says that, no, don't criticize that, come on. But please don't misunderstand, you made a good point. Is it really useful to ridicule the culture? To some aspects of the legacy, Islamic legacy, yes, there are very useful sources. But at the same time, when it comes to the interpretations of the narrations, historical narrations, especially the prophetic narrations of the narrations in the Quran, they are mostly based on, how can I translate this, Israeliyat, rabbinic interpretations, ancient rabbinic interpretations of Torah. And we keep saying that the Torah is corrupted, but we keep narrating the corrupted interpretations of Torah, which is originally must be really God's revelation. Corrupted interpretation. We just, although Quran, very interestingly, remind us, like don't be like Jews, you know, in bracket. They did this, they did it to the Torah. It means, oh, readers of the Quran, you should not do that as well. Wake up. But unfortunately, narrating the same thing, putting in the many traditional tafasir. Of course, these points need to be, what's my understanding, ridiculous so that the people will understand, because they will feel that, well, this Nursi says in the case here, ridiculing me, Nursi doesn't ridicule. This is a kind man, I'm a rude man. So ridiculing the history in order to draw attention of the people, and what we see now. Readers of risale may not wake up how crucial this point is that these books are making. What is the new things I am expected to learn from these writings, so that I wouldn't need to go back to historical narrations? But it doesn't mean that all of them, but this matter is particularly interpreting the prophetic messages really need to be, or also interpreting the Iblis, what its function is, and angels' obedience of human beings. What does really it mean? We have to really see the real core message in it by saying, look, all my knowledge in the cultural world, speak to the people, Muslims, even the public speakers. Nowadays, even, they keep saying, repeating the same stories. Risale-i, rabbinic interpretation of Torah, transferred into Quranic interpretation. But we should be very careful, since the subject is opened. That is my sensitive point, my friend, really touched on my nerve.
I know, like, I kind of push your button, I know that, but I think the people who are able to listen to those kind of interpretations and do not see any kind of contradictions with it, ridiculing what they believe in or what they believe in, like believe to be true, turn those people against you right from the beginning, and you just shut all the communication lines. As for the people who listen to those kind of interpretations and like cannot quite make sense and actually question the authenticity and like the truthfulness of it, and for those people, they are already questioning, they are already seeking some sort of answer. Ridiculing the subject still is not going to help anything for those people as well, because they already know that. That's the reason why they are actually seeking for something different that will make sense to them. So I think I'm just going to say that, like, I'm not going to carry on the discussion, like, I guess the argument. I just respectfully disagree with you. In either case, I don't think ridiculing is a way of like, is a good way of like delivering your message.
If you find another way of awakening these people.
I mean, I also understand, I can understand the frustration as well, but so I will give you credit for that part, but that's all I want to say.
Even the readers of the book, this book, not all of them, but majority of them, when when I discuss with them, nowadays I don't. Thank God that I am far away from that atmosphere. When I discuss the subject with them, they never understand. They say the names of the things. Yeah, the text is ambiguous in practical life. As I mentioned, when I ridicule the materialist people, when they, materialist scientists, when they interpret how the things are existing or coming into existence, when I ridicule them, everybody likes it. But the same method, when I apply it to the same attitude, but by a Muslim, I don't ridicule in general. I'm saying it is ridiculous. I should use the ridiculous, sarcastic language to understand. For example, saying that, oh God, what are you doing here? If are you creating somebody to oppose you, to challenge you? Don't create it, but it is not realistic. Why? There are many people worse than the devil, here in this world, although very few, but there are. Though we say these kafir, these unbelievers, disbelievers, look at them, but God creates them. The same thing. Same thing. God creates them. We also say, extending this idea, why does God create these deniers, liars? If you don't understand the creation of evil, what evil represents, of course you extend it and don't understand, and extend even further, why does God create these calamities, as we call them? Why does God allow to declare war and kill many people? All the same thing, all the same line. All the interpretations are same line, deriving from not understanding the creation of devil and putting the devil in an argumentative position with God, but not really relating their reality in their life, real life. Anyway, we have to understand one more point, because I just shared with you a part of the Ayatul Kursi, the throne verse. So this part says, 2:55, this is an amazing verse we have to really, all of us have to study it greatly, extensively. This part says, but they don't comprehend any of his knowledge. But he said, these tools, the text said, only the part we are interested in, highlight, please. Yeah, come down, but no one can grasp any of his knowledge. Yep. To what he wills to reveal. Yeah. Now here, we need to pay attention to that. These tools are given to us. Excuse me. These tools are given to us. For what? To understand the qualities of the Creator manifested on the earth, in the universe. Okay, we understood that. But we don't really comprehend it completely. We can only work hard and hard. How many so-called scientists, but not so-called really scientists, they study the universe, what is really, we have to appreciate their work, their labor. Not the interpretations, but their labor. So they work and work, and they find only in 1 decade, one step ahead. Why God doesn't let us know everything without really going under the effort of or labor of working hour than hour, centuries, and then thousands of people, maybe more than that, tens of thousands of people, and then just taking one step only. Why so slow? Why does not God generous? As the verse says, but no one can grasp any of his knowledge. Of course, I cannot grasp his knowledge, absolute knowledge, but I can only grasp and understand that such an absolute knowledge must exist. That is important. Must exist. Not the essence of it, except what he wills to reveal. That is the secret. What as much as you need. Why is it that? Have you questioned this? Why God is being so, how do you say, niggardly? Niggardly, isn't it the word? Not generous? A little bit, giving a little bit at a time. First of all, in essence, that's what I understand. In essence, not knowing anything at all, but only knowing that the relationship between me and the creation out there. And I said, this is beautiful, this is ugly, this is horrible, this is really nice, whatever. This is useful, this is not useful. So we go to the kitchen and do something, and some of them we throw it in the garbage bag and we don't need it. But I have this part. Why is it really 100% created perfectly so that I will know everything in every aspect? You don't need it. One thing, knowing one thing that, for example, you see that it is given existence with measure and perfect form. You just see that. And you have to question any quality. Everything is given shape, giving a form. How do they develop? Within a shape. Every creature, animate beings, they call it animate beings, plants and animals, they all have skin. Why? That's enough. But if you go deeper, it's better understanding the deeper manifestations of the knowledge of the Creator. So, it is endless, it is endless. That's what we should understand. The more we learn, the larger it becomes, not narrower. They said we have a lot to learn about electrons. So it's not the end of the world. It shows that the source is infinite. But if we knew everything, we say, oh, that's it all. That's all it. No, we need to discover near and then see the endless depth of the knowledge and conclude that, oh, the one who creates this universe has absolute infinite knowledge. Conclusion is that because of every bit we discover becomes more and more, including manifesting the knowledge of the Creator. One step is enough, and going to the second step, must be endless. That is why God says, I didn't reveal everything to you so that you will say, oh, this is it. And of course, you cannot comprehend human beings cannot comprehend by their nature the absolute. So this is the only way to realize that the Creator is teaching me how I should be convinced that the knowledge of the Creator must be absolute by learning stage by stage. Sorry for a long talk. Thank you. I didn't touch the nature of Iblis. That is another subject.
So I didn't understand. So gradually we learn. That's what human beings learn, right? How we are made.
Okay. Woman says, my financial capacity is infinite. Can you comprehend infinite?
No.
Can you observe it materially?
No.
No. Okay. What do you need? You ask him, really? Give me 1,000. Here it is. Really? Give me 10,000. Here it is. No hesitation. On the spot. Give me 1 million. Here it is. Oh, no hesitation. The one doesn't say, oh, the number is getting bigger and bigger, so really you are forcing my capacity. Give me 1 trillion. Here it is. Equally same. You understand? No, there is no end, man. Go in. There is no end. I say, okay, trial has finished. I know you are the richest man. And, with really endless sources or resources. Endless. But, first of all, manifestation of the absolute infinite is impossible. We cannot comprehend it. We cannot comprehend it. Impossible means the creator cannot create something like his capacity. Why? It doesn't make sense. An absolute is, or infinite has created another infinite. All infinites are plus one infinite, multiply 10,000 infinite is equal to one infinite. That is logical conclusion. So what we should understand, since we cannot comprehend the infinite at once, it is the way we realize that the human beings said, we found the bottom of creation. What is that? Atom. All right. And they studied even further. Oh, no, it has some components, more components. Oh, what is it? What is going on? This is what I mean? More components. Even you go into one component of the atom, it goes another. And one person who studied in the CERN Center in Europe, under 3 countries there, Switzerland, Belgium, I don't know, the other third one, maybe France or maybe Holland, Dutch, so Netherlands, I don't know. So he said they don't reveal it, but he was doing this postdoctorate research. They don't say it. They don't really openly say it, but among themselves they think. Of course, the number is getting bigger and bigger, but now they said, no, all the things that we know and we learn about particles is only 2 or 3% of reality of the universe. There must be deeper and deeper. It is becoming larger and larger, more subdivision. I am working on Lipton's, the other ones I'm working on, I don't know the names, but only Lipton remained in my mind. The other parts of the particles. So it's ridiculous. The experts experts are working on Lipton's just to find out how the structure of it is, So you see that at the end, as I always really believe and hope to happen sooner, they will declare bankruptcy. They will declare it. Why? How? Because they understand that they will never get end of the neither beginning of the universe nor the last parts of the matter. They will say it is coming from an absolute being. No other way. That's my impression. It is the declaration of science saying that I know everything, we will discover everything. They will say, no, no, no. There is no way to discover everything. There is no way to explain ultimately how the universe came into existence. Science gives up. It doesn't mean that they will stop investigating, but they will carry on investigating to benefit from it, to make technological gadgets. This is what they not for in being able to interpret how the universe came into existence by itself. That is the place they are going to declare their bankruptcy. I hope it will take place soon, but inshallah, you never know. For example, philosophy, I keep saying this and please forgive me, philosophy declared it is bankruptcy, that they are going to find answer. What they said, we are here, philosophy is dealing with asking questions. So the art of asking questions is the main theme of philosophy. Now they will say the scientists declare that it is not interpreting or being able to understand the source of existence of the universe, but only we are investigating it to make how much more or stronger weapons to make high technology and make money. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you, Brother Ali. So I think we can stop here. Next time we'll talk a little bit about how man's progress is stopped by Satan or evil matter, inshallah, the progress that man makes. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma alamtana innaka antal alimul hakim wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Bi hurmati surat al-Fatiha.